Hi, it's Erica from Welcome Mama on Fire, and welcome back to my channel. It has now been over 2 years since I've last done a video, and so I'm here to give you an update on what's been happening with me since 2022. And as you all know, life has been lifing these last couple of years, and I'm excited to share all the developments that took my life, from me having my initial creation of the blog being an autism mom vlog, to talking about my goal for financial independence, and to now accomplish so much more that I'm going to cover in the new year. So let's jump right into see. So in jumping into what happened beginning in 2022, let's see. Okay. Maybe it's a slow slide. Let's see. There we go, my autism mom life. So as I shared, when I first created the blog, it was based on sharing my story of being a mom raising a child with the autism spectrum, and really wanting to connect with kids on the spectrum, seeing how their techniques of raising their child, how they manage and handle the diagnosis, and so many things around that topic. And one thing I learned when I first launched this podcast or this channel and talking with other parents is what the needs were of those parents. And so what I began to hear was that many of them needed childcare, and like summer camp experiences for their kids on the spectrum. Oftentimes they'll get things like kicked out daycares and all those things. And so hearing what the needs were from other parents, I created a nonprofit organization called Shades of Autism Parent Network. Now you will see other videos are already on my channel from when I first created the organization, and a lot of things that we did. Some of the things we did at first was an online virtual conference. It was targeted towards moms of color with kids on the spectrum. It was a self-care summit, and some really great workshops are there, still online for those who want to jump in and listen and watch. You can learn so much from it. Very proud to have created that virtual summit for our parents. And from that really came the birth of the idea of doing a whole building and actually creating a center. And that's what I did. And that's why I was away from the channel for so long. I was actually busy working, creating this nonprofit organization and really putting into my thoughts into actions. So as you see here in this first, very proud, that's me at the building at Shades of Autism Parent Network, which was located in Jacksonville, Florida. That second picture is a picture of the actual center room. It looks like almost like an ABA therapy center, but that's where it was meant to be like a daycare, an after school or weekend fun place for kids on the spectrum to go. And then that last picture you see there, that was our first summer camp that we hosted. And that center was a small center. It was meant to serve only about 10 kids at the most, so we can give them the most attention and love, and really be a first pilot for launching a summer camp for kids on the spectrum. And with that year also, which I'm so proud of, is that my son, he graded PK. So pre-kindergarten there, that's that first picture when he was 5 years old. And then with that summer, with our first kids in that summer camp, they had superlatives. And so my son is funny. He was actually given the comedian. Well, that was his superlative for that summer. One of his still favorite things since he's been a baby is trains. And that's continuing on to this day. And also in that year, we got him into a special needs baseball team. I want to hear from other parents, their kids active in other activities and things outside of school. But he absolutely loved baseball. And just looking at the pictures between 2022 and 2023, seeing that growth in him in height, but also in development has just been amazing. And there goes that beautiful direct eye contact. I couldn't be happier with those pictures. So that was 2022 in my autism life. And one thing I'm proud of him too is that he received the month in both years, in kindergarten as well as in pre-K. Also in 2023, that summer, we hosted our second summer camp at that same center there in Jacksonville. And you can look out for more videos to come, because I want to tell more stories about Shades of Autism Parent Network, a lot of the great work that we were able to do, how we piloted, and the support we got from the community. So look for videos on that to come. Also, one thing I began to really learn about in 2023 was the IEP meetings, those goals, and really going through that process to really create a plan around the educational plan at schools. And that's also going to be a future topic of discussion because I definitely want to get more input, feedback from other parents on strategies and tips to really just manage the IEP well for your child. I'm in the beginning of it, and I want to get some experts in a whole conversation around how to best do your IEP meetings. But that was my autism mom life in these last 2 years. So really just been engaged, doing things in the community for those parents of color with children on the spectrum, and also just navigating his school life and before and after school in that sense. That was my autism mom life in these last 2 years. All right, now the transition. Well, in the midst of all these things going on, right, we hold many hats, right? We're mothers, we're wives, we're sisters, we're daughters, we're workers at work. We're just so many things that we do. And with that, I'm going to talk about my personal life in these last 2 years, which definitely has been a lot going on in that end. And let's see if my slide works. Did a presentation. Okay, let's see. Maybe my computer is slow. Okay, we're going to try again. There we go. My personal life in 2022. I'm now going to move my lovely bubble and keep the conversation. Alrighty. So in my personal life in 2022, so much began to happen. But the first fun thing that I did was I actually joined Zeta Phi Beta sorority grad chapter there in Jacksonville. And that was at the beginning of the year in January of 2022. And I just want to give a shout out, of course, to all my sorors there in the blue and white, as well as my frat and my brothers. During that past couple of years, these last 2 years, this organization has just been such a blessing, giving me such a wide range of new great friends who just been really along my journey for what I do for my son, as well as myself, and so much more of development along the way. But along with the fun, fine things that you heard so far that happened in 2022, also was a big shift in my personal life. My divorce, it's frozen, okay. So during the midst of 2021, my marriage at the time began to really just break down, and I had to come to the grips that, hey, it's time to and rebuild. And so with that, I filed for divorce at the end of 2021 and became finalized in March of 2022. And so as many of you may have known who have been through the process of divorce or just even breakups, that can have a big impact overall on your life, financially, personally, emotionally, every way. But you still have to maintain and be strong for your family and for your children. And that's why I definitely did. But in the midst of that, I've learned across the way that I'm more of someone is that when through hard times, I work even harder. And even more so while I was away from the channel is that I was grinding. So along with that, finalizing of that, of course, I sold my home and different things took place as well, which led to a different change and shift in my financial independence goals. And we'll talk about that in a future video as well. I want to get some input and thoughts of those who've been through that same kind of journey. In the midst of that, I was a nonprofit organization, and we actually received $20,000 that was able to go towards funding our summer camp goals that I share with you. Was a big thing that we did in 2022 and 2023. Along with those career changes, I actually left my career working in a financial services brokerage firm to focus full time for a few months within the nonprofit to really build it up correctly so that we could support having grant funds and things. So then later on that year, I changed jobs again to the same career that I'm in now, which focus on Medicare sales to those who are eligible. A big milestone in that year is that I turned 40. And with turning 40, I made the determination that I'm going to embrace this new single life that I have and begin to focus in on what my desires and goals are going forward. And my goal, or my word of the year for 2022, was fulfillment. And I was living off of that scripture in Luke 1:45, which states, "And blessed is who believeth in the word of God," in that sense, and know that his word will be fulfilled. and that I saw throughout the year of 2022 of fulfilling his promises and his word to me. That was me in 2022. But man, was there a shift in 2023. Let's see. Come on, slide. I'm getting back in the groove. Okay, slide. Come on. There we go. There we go. So let's go ahead and move my lovely bubble. And here I am. So in 2023, the word was me. I was determined to choose to explore my desires and take new adventures. And that's what I did. So I really began that year stating, I embraced my new sisterhood as the Zeta Phi Beta sorority, incorporated along with my sorors, and just really focused on giving back to the community, volunteering. I created a new committee there in our chapter for autism, focusing on that. So I'm very proud of that. And also, too, I was actually elected the assistant treasurer that year, too. So as I shared before, oftentimes when I'm going through a hard time, I kind of can overwhelm myself to not really deal with what was really going on. And that's what I began to realize as that year progressed. But embracing and understanding my ways that I cope has been just an amazing journey in itself. But in the midst of that, at the beginning of January, a friend of mine, a good sister of mine, told me to go ahead and go towards, dating online. And that's what I did. I got on the Tinder. And actually the first person who I actually sent a like to that same night responded. And we've been talking ever since that night. And that's that handsome gentleman you see there. And you'll see in future videos and conversations more about our journey as a couple. But one big thing I wanted to do that year as well was to do an international trip. And I did it. I went to Portugal and Spain. In the upcoming video, I'm going to talk to you about how I did that, doing travel hacking and traveling with points. And I was able to do all that with less than $2,000. So 2023 was the year of me. Even more so why I said, no YouTube this year. I'm going to focus on me. All right, on to the next. Let's go. Come on, slide. I got one more minute to go. Okay, come on. There we go. So the channel focus in 2024. So given all the changes that happened in these last 2 years, I want to shift and change what my focus will be of my channel. Now, at the end of 2023, I got a surprising diagnosis of breast cancer. And it's the incident invasive ductal carcinoma. And as you heard 40 in 2022. And then in my second ever mammogram, breast cancer was discovered. And I'm going to be talking about my journey through breast cancer, from diagnosis on to treatment and survivorship. So you can join me along that journey with me and raise awareness, of course, of screenings and so much more. So that's going to be a big focus for my channel in 2024. I'm still going to focus on wealth building because this is ever important, especially as we go in generational wealth for our children with special needs. I'm going to continue conversations around that. And of course, lifestyle and travel is a big piece of who I am. I'm definitely going to include that in my channel focuses for next year or this year ahead, 2024. So look out for conversations around health, wealth, and lifestyle from Mocha Mama on Fire. And now how you can best contact me and what to look forward to. I have a new channel that's going to be with me and my now husband. And you'll learn more about our journey and how we came to be on our new channel called Scooter and Me TV. Subscribe to Scooter and Me TV at Scooter TV to learn more about us and our journey. Always reach out to me. Feel free to reach out to me on YouTube as well as on Instagram at Mocha Mama on Fire. If you have an email, mochamamonfire@gmail.com. Thank you for being along with me, and look out for the new videos to come in 2024. Bye.